So you get it, women understand the struggles that can accompany the Christmas season. We want to stay focused on what matters most, but lists, planning, and pressure often get in the way. So my next guest is sharing 5 holiday mantras to help us not just get centered, but stay centered throughout the season. Author and speaker Connie Sokol is here. Great to see you.
So good to see you.
You're good at this, Connie. I mean, you raised a few
7 kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was doing the count in my head. 7 kids, and you get the swirl of chaos that can take over. But you're someone who also, I've observed over the years, been able to put up the walls and stay where you want to be. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Thank you. And I feel like that is getting more and more necessary. The more I'm talking to women, they're saying time is going so fast.
Yeah.
I cannot take this in. And they want to experience the holidays and not just like get through it, that kind of feel.
Right, to rush through it. Let's talk about these mantras. So lines we can say to ourselves, maybe over and over if needs be, to stay in that space we described.
Exactly. So the first one is it builds character. Okay, I took an informal poll and these are like the 5, right?
It builds character.
It builds character.
Is that supposed to be motivating?
This is such a good go-to mom phrase because it's when the kids have to clean the house for the holiday party and plow the driveway and you're like, just do it, right? But it builds character. So years ago we did a lot like what families do. We do Secret Santa, and we all pile in the car and one child gets to have the big black coat, then they're stealth, we drop them off, they doorbell ditch, we come back around, blah, blah, blah. It was all going swimmingly.
Yeah.
And then we came up and I hear this horrendous howling, screaming, crying. And I see my son standing in the front of that lawn and he is soaked. Well, the neighbor's sprinklers went off. So I don't know if it was because they thought it was an intruder.
Santa got wet.
Or it was motion sensor, we don't know. But he was soaked, so we bring him in, we bundle him up, we give him a love, and then we top it off with building character. And he loved that. That was so good.
As long as it's their character,
That's right.
not mine we're talking about
Exactly.
here. All right, next one, that's a memory maker.
Yes, now this is kind of that version for the moms, so that you can just be like, oh, it was all meant to be. That actually turned out even better when plans do not turn out and they go awry. So years ago, my mom, grandma, is coming to town and we were all excited and I wanted to kind of show off like my culinary skills and my holiday planning genius as a mom, right? So we pick her up and we were gonna shop and I had fajitas in the crock pot and we were gonna do gingerbread houses and read the Christmas story. And I mean, it's exhausting just to even say
you
it.
You had a 3-act play.
Exactly. It was like, you know where this is going. It's like, no. And so it all started backing up and we get home and we're tired and exhausted and they're hangry and I go to the crock pot and I forgot to turn it on.
Of course.
And I turn around and they're all just staring at me and I'm like, coats on, let's go out, right? It was a Christmas story moment. I'm like, it's a memory maker. So that's the whole thing. You just say, it's a memory maker, like it's meant to be.
Yeah. And it always is.
And it is.
You'll talk about the day that Grandma came. You are talking about the day.
Exactly. That's exactly how it is. And then it becomes a ha ha ha, fa la la. Okay, let's go to the next.
I'm going to remember that. It's a memory maker. You can do anything, but you can't do everything.
Yes. And this is the pick and choose moment. And it's so hard. In fact, in my book, Simplify It and Savor the Season, I have this little activity. I'm going to share it with you right now.
Please.
So simple. We do it every year, and it's the bomb. So as a family, you gather, Von Trapp, and you have 2 columns, and you have untouchables and you have enjoyables for favorite holiday traditions.
Okay.
And everybody gets to weigh in. So untouchables are like, you must have them. So for our family, it's going to see a Christmas Carol in the theater. It's the service straw in the manger. It's a Secret Santa with or without sprinklers. So those are untouchables. But then the enjoyables are maybe we will, maybe we won't, no stress.
It might happen.
It might happen, and wouldn't that be grand? So maybe it's a 12 days of Christmas. Maybe it's reading a Christmas story by the fire every single night. Maybe not. But there's no guilt. And then the bonus is if everybody in the family gets to have at least one activity in those lists that is their very own. Like that's their favorite. So that no matter what they're getting dragged to, they can look forward to the thing they love.
Does it surprise you what they choose?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do Festival of Lights every year. It's our cheesy little city Festival of Lights. And they're like, oh no, we have to do that together. And it's cheesy, but it's so fun.
I saw something online that said one reason to appreciate teenagers during the holiday season is they care about traditions more than you think.
They do.
And I don't have teenagers, but I remember that there were activities as a teen that really meant something to you. Festival of Lights is a good example. And so that would be an intriguing activity, I think, from the mom perspective.
It's so fun. And then they get so excited that we're planning it out. That's when we're going to them. It's so fun.
All right, next mantra. I love this one. Presence over presents.
Yes, being present over the production of presents. So a couple of examples on this one. One is one gal that was a mom of younger children. She was so overwhelmed one year, of course. And she just said, you know what? I realized just because I'm capable to do something doesn't mean it's essential to do. So she literally said, no Christmas cards, no neighbor gifts, no school parties, like gasp, right? But it was for one year, one season. So that's the question. What's one thing you can do differently for this one season, this 1 year, to be more present?
It doesn't mean it's every year.
It doesn't mean it's every year. And it saved her sanity, and she was able to be with her kids and not be a Grinch. And another one was these grandparents that, 7 adult children, and you know what it's like, bundling everybody up and hauling them up for Christmas to grandma's house. So they became Santagrams. So they went to each of their adult children's houses on Christmas Day.
I love that.
Brought a treat, did a little Christmas thought, and then they were able to see them connect, give a hug, and then go to the next one. Now that doesn't work for everyone, got it, but they gave themselves permission to do what worked for their family that year, and it was beautiful.
Yes, and what a sacrifice on the part of that Nana and Papa, but made a memory along the way.
And help the adult children to just be able to, we can just be.
I love that. All right, finally, here's our fifth and final. Store-bought is fine.
That's right.
Store-bought is fine. And sometimes I'd argue it's better, depending on who's behind the kitchen stove.
I so agree. I was watching the Today Show. Ina Garten, Barefoot Contessa. She showed this charcuterie board. She said, don't spend all day in the kitchen. She got apple tart and these lemon bars and something else. This charcuterie board, and she put things in pretty foils and up-level cupcake wrappers. Threw on blueberries and strawberries. I did this over Thanksgiving, 5 minutes, and it was gorgeous. Oh my gosh. So store-bought is fine. Just use these mantras to really experience the holidays and make it meaningful and not material.
And according to Grandma, that charcuterie board wiped out all memories of fajitas that were not.
Exactly.
I mean, you earned your points. A few years later,
I took pictures.
Thank you so much. You have a faith-based retreat for women coming up. Will you tell us about it?
Our 9th retreat, teaching women to be speakers, writers, and a media presence for him. A $500 holiday discount right now. You can check out more at my website, ConnieSokol.com. They're amazing.
It's a great gathering event. You learn awesome skills as well. But
skills, connection, it's life-shifting. It's just so good.
Details on your website.
ConnieSokol.com.
Thank you, Merry Christmas, which we will link from our website, studio5.ksl.com. You can also bookmark this conversation and others as we try to not only help you prepare for the fun of the holidays, but stay centered on the things that matter most to us, the things that we want to remember this time of year. So our website, a great resource for all of those tools.